A terrible thing just happened. Rebel News and me personally have just received this legal notice of an intention to bring a lawsuit against us sent by Trudeau's disinformation czar, Jean-Christophe Boucher. He's coming to censor us, to shut us down, just like he publicly warned us would happen. I need your help, please. I just received his legal threat letter this week. They actually wrote it on September 8th, the day the Queen died. These are really classy people. You can read his legal threat letter for yourself at saverebelnews.com. That's a website I've set up to help us fight back. I need your help because Boucher has unlimited resources. He's received massive grants from the Trudeau government that he has used to fund his work to smear Rebel News and other Trudeau critics. He's also a professor at the University of Calgary, my old university, which also has unlimited resources. He's using the University of Calgary's lawyer here. It wouldn't surprise me if they're paying for this attack on us too, to ensure they keep getting more Trudeau grants. But the main thing to know about this Boucher character is that he is Trudeau's censorship point man. He's the man paid to lead Trudeau's campaign against disinformation. He's Trudeau's chief censor, and he has hated Rebel News for a very long time. Here he is in January of last year comparing Rebel News to poison. And here he is a few months later saying Rebel News should be sued so brutally that we have to shut down. That's his goal. That's been his goal for years. Let me quote him. When will we shut down the Rebel for spreading false information? This should be a lawsuit for undermining public safety. He used the word we. I mean, this is a personal vendetta for him. Boucher couldn't be clearer. For years, he wanted to kill Rebel News. He's been saying so in public, which surely helped him get those massive grants from Trudeau's government. And now he's actually doing it. Read his legal threat letter for yourself at saverebelnews.com. And if you can, while you're there, please click over to help us fight back. We need help. Boucher doesn't want to debate us. He doesn't believe in debating. He's a Trudeau man. He believes in censoring people, or at least censoring Trudeau's enemies. Here he is during the trucker convoy. Quote, just cut their trucks in little pieces, dump it on their driveway. Like Trudeau, he believes in using vaccine mandates to force people to obey. He said, we told you so, vaccine passport mandate works. Won't surprise you to learn that besides taking cash from Trudeau, he takes cash from the vaccine companies too. And like any good Trudeau soldier, this week he turned his attacks on Pierre Poilievre. Here's what he said. Is it just me or Poilievre supporters are coming out in force to harass people online and send insane emails to university professors? Later he said, if this emboldens some to start harassing people in his name and build a toxic campaign to intimidate others, I think it will be an issue. So who is this guy? And why is he suing Rebel News and me? Why does he hate us so much? Why does he dehumanize his opponents, comparing them to poison, saying their property should be chopped up? And where's he getting the money from to attack us? Well, here's part of the answer. I mean, I first heard of Boucher a few months ago when he published this bizarre report subject to no academic peer review. It was really weird. It was called Disinformation and Russia-Ukrainian War on Canadian Social Media. But the report itself was disinformation because it wasn't a neutral or scholarly study. It was funded by Trudeau's Department of National Defense. In fact, that's Boucher's sugar daddy. He calls himself a professor, sure, but he actually runs the Canadian Network on Information and Security funded by the Department of National Defense. He's the guy Trudeau pays to accuse Trudeau's political enemies of spreading foreign disinformation. Let me show you what I mean. I won't take long. Please watch this video to the end because I really do need to ask for your help. But first, I just want to show you why he's threatening to sue us, why he hates us, why he calls us poison that must be destroyed, why he says the truckers should have their trucks cut to pieces, why he hates Pierre Poilievre, and why he thinks Trudeau's opponents should be silenced. Like I say, he claimed the report was about Russian disinformation on the internet. He says he studied millions of tweets and made a list of those Twitter accounts that promote Vladimir Putin's agenda. But look at one of the 5 criteria he says he looked at. And if you did this, you were promoting Russian propaganda. He said that anyone who vocally opposed Justin Trudeau could be flagged by Boucher as a Russian agent. I'm serious, not exaggerating. Let me quote directly from his study. He said, promoting a specific mistrust of Canada's Liberal government, and especially of Prime Minister Trudeau, was enough for Boucher to flag you as a Putin agent. I'm serious. If you don't trust the Liberals, especially Boucher's personal hero, Justin Trudeau, Boucher might call you a Russian propagandist. This is not a report about disinformation. This report is disinformation. It's a smear of anyone who criticizes Trudeau. It's not scholarship. It's not science. This junk study was not even peer-reviewed. It's bought and paid for propaganda, in my opinion. If you don't like Trudeau, you're a Russian agent. That's almost as embarrassing as this Trudeau reporter at the CBC.
You know, given Canada's support of Ukraine in this current crisis with Russia, I don't know if it's far-fetched to ask, but there is concern that Russian actors could be continuing to fuel things as this protest grows, but perhaps even instigating it from the outset.
Yeah, she's not a professor too. That's McCarthyism. Anything they don't like is Russian. It's embarrassing. It's not journalism. It's not scholarship. In fact, it's defamatory itself. And based on that BS, they made a hate list of the people they accuse of being Russian agents. The top one, this is crazy, the top one being Tulsi Gabbard, the former U.S. Congresswoman who's in the U.S. Army Reserve. She ran in the Democratic primaries for president. I'm serious. They said she was a Russian propagandist. But look at the other names on the list too. Jack Posobiec is on there. He's a pundit. He used to serve in the U.S. Navy. It's insane to call him a Russian agent. But look, Maxime Bernier is on there too. I'm on there. Some other Canadian pundits and Americans too. How am I on there? I'm not a Putin agent. In fact, I wrote 2 books about how Canada has to produce more ethical oil and gas to displace Russian conflict oil and gas, to free Europe. I called it ethical oil versus conflict oil. I was so harsh on Putin. I had a whole chapter on Gazprom and why we need to beat them. I was so harsh on Putin, it is not safe for me or my family members to travel to Russia. But like I say, this Boucher, he says you're a Putin stooge simply for distrusting Trudeau. Wow. Well, considering 68% of Canadians distrusted Trudeau enough in the last election to vote for anyone but him, that's a lot of Russian agents running around. So I did a show a few months back about this Trudeau errand boy after his study came out. And I actually sent him a letter demanding that he correct the errors and smears against me in his report and his talk about it in the media. But instead of correcting his errors, he's suing me in Rebel News. For my rebuttal to his smears, he's suing me for my TV show where I tried to rebut him. So let's sum up. A professor who receives hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding from the Trudeau government to smear Trudeau's opponents as Russian agents, smears us as Russian agents. In a non-peer-reviewed junk study designed to titillate and smear, Boucher then does the media circuit, going even further than his study does. Step 2, this same professor repeatedly attacks Rebel News, comparing us to poison, saying we should be sued into silence. And number 3, when I write to him, asking him to correct his errors, correct his disinformation, he refuses, and instead he serves me with a legal threat letter. This guy couldn't be clearer about his plans. He wants to sue Rebel News to shut us down. He said so. And now he's got a university lawyer and a vault full of cash from Trudeau. He's coming to kill us. My friends, over the past 2 years, we have helped literally thousands of Canadians fight for their freedoms by crowdfunding their legal defenses. But now we are the ones who need a legal defense. I've checked out Boucher's lawyer. He's no dummy. He's going to try to do maximum damage to Rebel News. He'll have unlimited resources. He'll have the backing of the Trudeau government and, bizarrely, the backing of the University of Calgary, who employs Boucher. We don't take any government money at Rebel News, and we're not part of a huge organization like a tax-funded university. All we have is our viewers. If you think this Boucher is a bully, funded by another bully named Trudeau, and if you think his threat letter has to be resisted, and if you think we should lawyer up and defend ourselves, well, now is the time. You heard the man. He wants to shut us down. He thinks we're poison. If you want us to live, now's the time to help us. Please. Go to SaveRebelNews.com, chip in what you can, and while you're there, sign our petition to the University of Calgary Board of Governors telling them it is outrageous that they would support this bully smearing us and threatening to sue us. Seriously, does the U of C have so much money that they can spend it on harassing alumni who happen to disagree with Trudeau? Shame on the U of C. Sign our petition at SaveRebelNews.com, but I really do need your help to cover our legal bills. You can do that on the same website, and I promise we will fight like hell against this Trudeau disinformation czar. Not only will we defend ourselves, but we will put his McCarthyite smears on trial too. U of C's governors should be careful about what they wish for. Please go to SaveRebelNews.com, because if Boucher wins, he really will try to kill us. We just received this threat letter. We're going to be sued by Trudeau's disinformation czar. We have to fight back. He says he wants us to be shut down. Go to SaveRebelNews.com if you want us to live.